Hi, I'm Noah Wasmer, and I'm super excited to be with you here today to share some exciting new developments. How we're reimagining IT service management for this new software-powered world that we live in. I want to tell you a couple of stories that really help reflect the changes going on. One of my favorites is around the Model T. Almost 100 years ago, when this car first came out, they had one gauge, amps, on the dash. Can you imagine? It basically told you, is the car on or is it off? Now you compare that to today, the Ford F-150, in fact, has 150 million lines of code inside of the car. This is measuring everything from the health of the engine, is it getting the best fuel efficiency, as well as really creating an experience inside the cab that's really tuning to the weather and making sure that we get a great overall customer experience. And what we're finding is that from companies all across the globe in every sector, that they're saying that our IT teams are under this tremendous pressure to work with dev and engineering, really to do three things. First and foremost is ship faster. Think about a company like Lucid Motors, right, with the Lucid Air. Everything this company is doing, from how their teams work together through the color and trim inside the car, the overall experience inside the car is now becoming about the high quality software powered vehicle that they deliver. And it is ultimately about that great customer experience. But not only about shipping faster, but how do we think around how can we make sure that we have a great always on experience? If you think about a company like Peloton, during the COVID crisis, they found that they had a 94% jump in subscription when the pandemic, shut down most gyms. Think about how important it was for them to say that our services are always up and running, right? That they could make sure that we could provide that great experience. They are an example of a company that relies on greatware services, great software services, always being on for their customers. And taking that a step further, that we know we have to provide great service experiences. We have an example of a customer called Health Direct here in Australia that during the COVID crisis, that they knew that they wanted to be able to address questions coming in from their customers as quickly as possible. In 1 week, they set up a service desk to really power the health system's national crisis COVID helpline. And that was something that was just incredibly powerful for 3,500 call center reps. If you put this all together, you get this clear story that what's emerging is that these goals are not easy and that IT is fundamentally changing in terms of how we deliver the overall support. You add to this, there's new complexity around, hey, most customers want to say some of our services are going to eventually or maybe urgently need to move to the cloud to take advantage of the dynamic needs or cost sensitivities to leverage cloud scale. This is something that is just adding more change inside of the systems. You go forward and you even see now that customers are saying that IT support must start to become more agile and work more closely with engineering teams. In fact, one of the interesting things that Gartner noted was that they're finding that if the teams aren't becoming more agile, that they're ultimately going to have some challenges where teams may go around them, right? And so ultimately we have to forge those closer ties with dev and IT teams, or in fact, almost embed engineering teams inside of ITSM teams. This is something that, again, is creating more change inside of our traditional IT operations. And finally, as you can expect, that our employees are now used to consumer technologies, mobile phones and always on services, conversational support. And so what we need to do is find how can we modernize our tools to help best support those individual employees and our customers. And obviously, when you put this all together, we know that legacy tooling is kind of handcuffing our existing IT teams, and we have to change this. We have to find ways that we can do this differently. We're hearing from you that customers, that the traditional tools that you've been using, they're obviously they're not always flexibly adapting to these new business needs in these new times. They're also saying that, hey, we have these siloed organizations where IT and dev aren't always talking together. How can we create great communication tools and great workflows between these different tools? And last but not least, that there's a lot of friction going on between IT and software. We need to be able to respond to business changes fast and resolve issues fast. And that's where we think the time is now to really look at something different. So are you ready to amp up your ITSM strategy? Well, today I'm incredibly excited to announce that we are introducing Jira Service Management. So we're renaming JSD to Jira Service Management, and I'm excited to tell you for our 25,000 customers who know and love Jira Service Desk, You'll absolutely love this. This is the IT service management solution that's built on the foundations of JSD, but it represents the next generation of what we see is possible. So what's happening? Let me tell you a little bit about this strategy. First and foremost, it launches today. We've got it available for you. You should be expecting emails in the coming days for those of you that are existing customers. For those of you that are new to our ITSM offering, we're excited to give you the opportunity to give it a try. Second, we are rolling out new editions, free, standard, premium, and enterprise, really to make sure that we're tailoring the needs for each of your different company sizes and different ways of working. So we're excited about that. We're also finding that customers really see incident management as a key part of this. And so for those of you that are familiar with our Opsgenie product, a market leader in incident response, we're incorporating that functionality from that product in all cloud editions of Jira Service Management. We're so excited for you to see this. And last but not least, coming soon is that we are going to be integrating capabilities from both our recent acquisitions, Mindville Insight for asset and configuration management, and Help for conversational ticketing into Jira Service Management. This is absolutely huge. So how does this help your teams? We talked about this idea of deliver value fast, make work visible, DevOps that just simply flows. Well, I'm excited to tell you examples of how this new product is coming together to do that exact thing. So in terms of deliver value fast, we have that same experience that you're familiar with that makes it easy for your teams across HR, marketing, legal, etc., to set up new service teams, right? Just choose the template and get going right away. The teams can set up forms and processes in a way that's ultimately familiar, right? Creating new fields, creating new workflows, drag and drop, that low code, no code experience that you expect to really put together that ability to get data from all of your different teams. Taking that a step further, we want to make sure that we can help teams get the work done easier and make it more visible. Let me give you an example of how we're doing this. Let's say, for example, with Jira Service Management, as an incident occurs, we want to give you much richer, more context-ready information to respond to outages and respond incidents faster. So first and foremost, you can easily drill in and you can see what service is impacted by the potential outage. You can see all incidents related to that particular service outage and what you could do. And even better is that you can start to dig in and learn really what might have caused that incident and look at the root cause. By bringing this together with Opsgenie and Bitbucket, one of the things that we can now show is all the deployments related to a particular service. This is incredibly powerful. So you can delve into the deployment, what happened right before, and see that potentially what made that change. So you can even roll it back to try to resolve that incident. If we take it a step further, what you'll find is that now, thanks to the Opsgenie and Bitbucket solution, once we get into a post-incident response, we can easily build that out into a clean template that can be exported over to Confluence and can be then shared with your broader team. This is really powerful to make sure teams are communicating across the organization so everybody has what they need. Now let's talk about how we're making DevOps flow. One of the greatest things that we're finding is that we need to really make sure that we're tying into the CI/CD DevOps tools that you know and love, from Bitbucket pipelines, Jenkins, Circle CI, and others. Now what we can find is that low-risk changes are easy to get straight through, right? They can just go, be managed, and deployed. But if there's a higher risk change, we can say that we're going to set it for a change manager to be approved. So here you see that now it's on pause and waiting for that approval. If we take it a step further, you'll see that now as the person looking for that approval will get in, they can see the information directly about the change that's being approved, any of the affected services, and in fact, a risk score that will start to highlight, is this available, is this going to impact a lot of our teams? And then ultimately, who can approve that change? Once that approval has gone through, it automatically rebuilds that application and goes back into deployment. This is really critical for that complete audit trail and really making sure that we have compliance and we're mitigating risk. It's all in one place with Jira Service Management. So obviously we're in motion here to really help unlock high velocity teams by helping deliver that value fast, by making sure that we're making work visible across all the different teams from dev and engineering all the way through to IT. And we want to make that workflow flow from conversations, from communicating from an audit trail to make sure our teams are working best together. So what is the secret sauce? Like, what do we think really makes the difference here? And why does Atlassian really help dev and IT form a better solution? It's ultimately because it's a common platform. And that's what we think is obviously really empowering for the different teams, is that we can start to build the workflow and the information flow across the organization in one common platform for work. And you take this a step further, it's not just for dev and IT teams, but all those critical resources from HR to legal to marketing, all getting visibility to really ensure that collaboration. So obviously we're incredibly excited about what we're delivering, but I also want to tell you about what's next. So what you're going to find is that, coming soon are really this conversational ticketing with help in Jira in service management. This is ultimately, we want to make sure that all communication methods, whether it's email, whether it's person face-to-face, or whether it's through conversations like Slack and Teams, that we're getting that flow of information into the system. Secondly, we're really excited about what we're doing with smarts and machine learning to help to start to predict and route requests in real time and accurately categorize tickets more efficiently to make your teams even more responsive to their customers and their employees. And last but not least, we really are excited about what we call dynamic configuration management. For us here, this is, as we're looking at traditional CMDB and change management, we think we can take this a step further by really bringing together the latest information from the dev tools. So we know who's responsible for a service. Where are they in terms of the recent deployments? Did they go through or did they fail? What has been the change failure rate? And are there ongoing incidents associated to that particular service? We believe that this is groundbreaking and really a showcase of how we're bringing dev and IT together. So as you can see, we're just so excited about Jira Service Management. We want to make sure that you get out there and try it for yourself. We'd love for you to jump in and explore at the URL above at Atlassian.com. And obviously you can tell we've had a lot of fun bringing this solution to you. And in fact, we've had so much fun that we've actually formed our own rock band called High Velocity. And I'll leave you to listen. Let's get it going.
Rocking the scrum, debugging the abyss. Together in system, together in spirit. We bring the torch to the darkness.